How was your night last night?
Good, mate. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Say what's up to the vlog.
I'm vlogging.
How do you feel after last night beating Jake Paul?
What's the name of the vlog?
Oh, the KJ Camp.
KJ Camp. Shout out to the KJ Camp supporters.
Thank you. Appreciate it, dog.
Nice talk, baby. How are you?
Oh, sorry.
I'm a little fucked up, but will you take care of me forever and ever?
Anthony Joshua's reported visit has sent shockwaves through the boxing world. According to reactions around the sport, Joshua didn't just make a statement with a knockout inside the ring. He extended the impact of the fight beyond it. The moment he showed up in person reportedly shifted the entire narrative, turning headlines in a different direction and adding another layer to the aftermath of the bout against Jake Paul. For many fans and analysts, it wasn't just about victory anymore, but about how a dominant heavyweight champion carries himself after the fight is over.
Feeling AJ?
AJ.
How are you? Let's go. Right, yeah? Let's go. Holiday. Cheers. Enjoy, yeah?
How was your night last night?
Luke McKenzie highlighted that Anthony Joshua's knockout of Jake Paul was not only about securing a victory, but also about sending a clear statement regarding the level of elite heavyweight boxing. According to McKenzie, the reported broken jaw underlined the severity of the contest and the physical consequences that can come from facing a fighter of Joshua's power and precision. McKenzie also pointed to the narrative surrounding Joshua's hospital visit as reinforcing his dominance and control, portraying a champion who remains composed and authoritative even after the fight is over. In his view, moments like these shape how fans interpret the outcome, not just as a knockout, but as a reminder of the gap between elite heavyweights and less experienced opponents. The overall reaction combined both respect for Joshua's ability and an awareness of the risks involved in underestimating a fully prepared heavyweight champion at the highest level.
I'm glad Anthony Joshua did that too, because now he won't be able to talk like he does for a while.
Jake Paul reportedly took to social media after the devastating loss to thank his supporters, showing a mix of humility, reflection, and acknowledgement of what he experienced inside the ring. Despite suffering a brutal knockout and a broken jaw, his message suggested an awareness of the level of challenge presented by facing Anthony Joshua at heavyweight. Fans interpreted the post as a sign that, even in defeat, Paul understands the seriousness and intensity of competing against an elite-level opponent. While the physical outcome was severe, the tone of his response also reflected a degree of respect for the power, skill, and dominance Joshua brought to the contest.
Sur le Twitter de Jake Paul, qui réagit directement après le combat. Donc ça, vous voyez quand il met thank you à tout le monde, donc à ses supporters, à ses haters, à sa team, à tous les combattants, à Netflix, à la boxe, à Dieu, il dit merci à tout le monde. Ça, c'était juste avant le combat et il disait ce soir, enfin cette nuit, nous allons choquer le monde. Et ça, c'était juste avant le combat. Et ce qui est drôle, c'est que le tweet de juste après, c'est est-ce que j'étais payé pour perdre?
Anthony Joshua's reported visit to Jake Paul in the hospital showed a side of the champion that extended beyond what happened inside the ring. According to the narrative surrounding the aftermath, the knockout was not treated as just a finishing moment, but as a stark lesson in elite heavyweight boxing and its consequences. Observers described Joshua speaking directly to Paul in a calm but authoritative manner, reinforcing the level of respect he expects from opponents and the seriousness with which he approaches his profession. The interaction was viewed by some fans as an extension of his presence as a dominant champion who carries both discipline and control even outside competition.
Yo, doing me, man?
Carl Froch captured the situation by pointing out the absurdity of the idea that Jake Paul could realistically expect to survive for long stretches against Anthony Joshua at elite heavyweight level. Froch noted that despite spending around 18 minutes in the ring, Paul was largely unable to land meaningful shots, while Joshua controlled almost every exchange with superior timing, distance control, and punching accuracy. He also highlighted how Paul's approach gradually shifted into pure survival mode as the reality of the skill and power gap became more apparent. According to Froch, this reaction is common when fighters realize they cannot match the level in front of them, especially against a disciplined and experienced heavyweight like Joshua. From Froch's perspective, the fight ultimately reinforced Joshua's complete control, precision, and heavyweight dominance, leaving little doubt about the difference in class between the two competitors.
A fucking piss take that this guy's in there with Anthony Joshua, swinging away, landing
What's he done? He's had 18 minutes and landed 2 shots, and he's gone on survival mode.
Boxing Ego emphasized just how one-sided the contest became, noting that Jake Paul had roughly 18 minutes in the ring and managed to land only a couple of clean shots before being forced into full survival mode. According to the analysis, the damage inflicted by Anthony Joshua was both visible and severe, with reports highlighting a broken jaw in 2 places as a result of Joshua's power and precision. This was presented as physical proof of the gap in elite-level ability, showing the raw force behind Joshua's combinations and his ability to close distance with accuracy.
The kid has a broken jaw, it appears, after fighting Anthony Joshua, right? I made this graphic for you guys. You see it. Got his jaw broken in 2 places.
Care of me forever and ever? A little fucked up. But when you take care of me forever and ever? A little fucked up. But when you take care of me forever and ever?
Nikki Sabedarian noted that despite the brutal knockout loss, Jake Paul still earned respect for showing heart and refusing to fold under pressure against elite opposition. Fans were able to appreciate the toughness required to step into the ring with Anthony Joshua, especially given the physical punishment he absorbed throughout the contest.
But I think Jake fought a very, how do I survive long enough to land a right hand type of fight, and it made it a little difficult for AJ to get his timing. No excuses. AJ didn't look great, I'll be honest. He didn't look great. He didn't look like, an AJ we thought we were going to get, the marauder, the guy that was going to come forward and bang out Jake in 1 round. Pause.
Johnny Nelson explained that Anthony Joshua systematically broke down Jake Paul's confidence throughout the fight, not simply through physical damage but by steadily exposing the gap between claims and reality inside the ring. According to Nelson, Joshua did not need to rush or rely purely on aggression. Instead, he used controlled pressure, timing, and accurate punching to gradually reveal the limitations in Paul's experience and ability at elite heavyweight level.
That Jake is safe, and more so that he showed his heart. I don't know if you guys were looking on Twitter, but until about 20 minutes ago, the number 1 trending thing on Twitter wasn't Jake Paul getting knocked out, wasn't Jake Paul, wasn't Anthony Joshua. It literally was the phrase, respect.
Eddie Hearn highlighted that Anthony Joshua took a few rounds to fully read the movement, rhythm, and timing of Jake Paul, showing patience and calculated precision rather than rushing the finish early. Once Joshua established his read on the fight, Hearn explained that the finishing sequence was both sudden and devastating, with the decisive knockout causing serious damage, including a broken jaw for Paul. According to him, the bout also tested Joshua's timing, control, and ability to adapt in real time, but he remained composed throughout every stage of the contest.
They wanted AJ to knock this boy out clean and get rid of him because they, everybody I've spoken to, they just wanted, they're like, I want to see Jake Paul get knocked out. And I just said, I don't want to see him get knocked out. I want to see him get beat up. I want to see him quit. I want to see the reality of everything he's saying and doing kick in. And in a way it did happen, but he didn't get beat up. And slowly but surely the confidence, the self-belief ripped out of him to the point where he's dropping on his knees. He's like, he must have fallen down about.
Dave Allen pointed out that the fight was ultimately one-sided, with Anthony Joshua maintaining clear dominance from start to finish. While he acknowledged Jake Paul's fitness, toughness, and attempts to use clever movement and survival tactics, Allen stressed that those attributes were not enough to bridge the gap in power, skill, and ring IQ.
It took AJ a couple of rounds to get hold of him, and then he knocked him spark out and broke his jaw. It was a frustrating 2-3 rounds maybe, because Jake was moving so much, holding.
David Hay explained that Jake Paul attempted to survive the fight using a more calculated approach, relying on lateral movement and trying to create small openings whenever possible. According to Hay, it was a sensible survival strategy, but ultimately it was not enough against elite-level opposition. Anthony Joshua's timing, accuracy, and punching power proved overwhelming throughout the contest, with his clean shots repeatedly breaking through Paul's defense. Hay noted that Joshua's ability to read movement, adjust in real time, and capitalize on openings was what turned the fight decisively in his favor, eventually leading to damaging blows that caused serious injury, including a broken jaw.
Well, the fight was, it weren't a fight, was it? It was really, really one-sided. Jake Paul, yeah, I've got to give him credit really, because he's super fit. He's pretty clever really. like he'd make a good, a good journeyman.
All Riley explained that Anthony Joshua's victory was more than just another win inside the ring. In his view, the fight became a major statement that expanded Joshua's reach to an even larger global audience. Even though Joshua was already one of the biggest names in boxing, the matchup against Jake Paul introduced his dominance and high-level skill set to viewers who may have previously underestimated him.
Got the knockout, everyone was expecting it. It's very difficult to pin someone down when they're not trying to engage. Jake's game plan was a good one, was to use lateral movement and the hope to land a big overhand right at some stage to catch AJ off guard. Didn't quite work out, but you got to give Jake credit. Took some big shots there. I think he's got a broken jaw or something, spitting blood at the end of the fight. No, anything's possible. He gave it a go. He dared to be great. Didn't work out for him, understandably. That's why he was such a massive underdog.
Logan Paul emphasized the toughness and determination it took for Jake Paul to step into the ring against Anthony Joshua despite reportedly dealing with a rolled ankle and a broken jaw during the fight. According to Logan, simply surviving multiple rounds against one of the strongest and most dangerous heavyweights in boxing already demonstrated a high level of courage and resilience. Fans watching the contest could recognize Jake Paul's willingness to continue fighting under difficult conditions, but at the same time, Joshua's power, composure, and technical superiority made it clear who controlled the fight from start to finish. The matchup ultimately became a test of toughness, willpower, and physical strength. Although Paul earned respect for his bravery and refusal to quit, Joshua's performance once again reinforced why many view him as operating on a completely different level from most opponents in the heavyweight division.
Win today was the bread. AJ's win today was the exposure to more people. Even though he's mad famous, as we know, like there's a community he hasn't touched. And I think
Anthony Joshua admitted afterward that the fight was not a flawless performance, but he made it clear that his objective from the opening bell never changed. His plan was to pressure Jake Paul, pin him down, and gradually impose his size and power until the opportunity for a knockout appeared. Watching the fight closely, fans could clearly see Joshua's patience, timing, composure, and precision throughout the contest. Every calculated punch and controlled exchange reflected the experience and mental discipline he has developed over years competing at the highest level of heavyweight boxing. While Jake Paul attempted to survive difficult moments and stay competitive, Joshua remained relentless, methodical, and fully focused on breaking him down round by round. The right hand that eventually ended the fight showcased a mixture of technical skill, anticipation, timing, and raw heavyweight power that Paul ultimately had no answer for inside the ring.
In my opinion, he won 4 of them. People will argue that he at least won 3. No one expected him to last that long. Rolled his ankle, broke his jaw, still fucking fighting, man. Like, that's toughness. You know, most people wouldn't have the balls ever to step in a boxing ring in their life. He stepped in a boxing ring with one of the baddest men on the planet. Who's 40 pounds heavier than him and 6 inches taller.
Ariel Helwani highlighted the intimidating presence that Anthony Joshua brings into the ring every time he fights. His combination of size, reach, power, and precision made every punch feel dangerous, with each clean shot carrying the potential to instantly change or end the fight. Fans could clearly see the level of danger Jake Paul faced during nearly every exchange throughout the contest. Even during slower or calmer moments in the fight, Joshua's threat remained constant, forcing Paul into survival mode for long stretches of the bout. Watching closely, many observers felt it became obvious that Joshua combines technical boxing skill with physical dominance in a way that leaves opponents with almost no room for mistakes. His explosive combinations, composure under pressure, and overall control inside the ring continued reinforcing why many still consider Joshua one of the most complete and dangerous heavyweights competing in boxing today.
Everyone in this venue, now, you asked me a question. Look, it wasn't the best performance. It wasn't the best. The end goal was to get Jake Paul, pin him down, and hurt him. That has been the request leading up, and that was on my mind. It took a bit longer than expected, but
Daniel Cormier pointed out the clear gap in overall ability between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul during the fight. According to Cormier, fans watching the contest could immediately see Joshua operating comfortably while displaying superior technique, composure, movement, and ring IQ throughout the bout. Jake Paul struggled to keep up with the pace, power, and technical sharpness Joshua brought into the ring. Every clean combination and controlled exchange further highlighted Joshua's dominance and made the difference in skill level increasingly obvious as the fight continued. Even casual viewers could recognize how effortlessly Joshua controlled the action and dictated the tempo against an opponent who appeared outmatched at the elite heavyweight level. The performance once again reinforced Joshua's reputation as one of boxing's elite heavyweights, capable of systematically breaking opponents down while maintaining calmness, tactical discipline, and complete control inside the ring.
And every time he threw a punch, I like winced because he's a big man and he's an incredible boxer and he's still in his prime and he's got a very long reach and he's got a lot of power in that right hand and that left hook is terrifying as well, and so I thought it could end it.
Despite showing flashes of skill and determination, Jake Paul's lack of deep experience and formal boxing development prevented him from truly competing at this level. Anthony Joshua's precision, timing, strength, and overall control completely exposed the gap between the two fighters throughout the contest. Paul's performance demonstrated courage and willingness to fight under pressure, but against an opponent who was disciplined, physically powerful, and technically superior, the difference became impossible to ignore. David Haye's comments reinforced the importance of experience, ring education, and years of high-level training in professional boxing. Watching Joshua dictate every aspect of the fight further proved why he continues operating on a level far beyond Paul's current capabilities inside the heavyweight division.